as we get to Joey's ledger, one of the first things you notice is he's got $100 uninvoiced. That happens to be that $100 service that was just performed. However, you can see it has not been added to an invoice. Joey does not have any open invoices at this point. He does have one paid invoice, but no open invoices. So let's go ahead and create a new invoice. I'll just simply come up to the top right, click here, and go to Create Invoice. Okay, and this is the invoice details screen. The first thing I can do here is I can assign my own manual invoice number, or if I do not, one will be randomly generated. I have an invoice date. I have who the staff member is for this invoice, and then any notes that I'd like to include in this invoice as well. And as I go down to the bottom, services to be invoiced. So if we take a look, we'll see the service date. This was Joey's appointment time. This was the service type. Here was the service rate. Here was the number of units, which will be handy if you go to print a super bill, and the total amount of the invoice listed here finally, which we can also edit if we needed to. If for any reason we needed to add an invoice item, I could just simply click Add Invoice Item and add any type of miscellaneous fee or additional service that I needed to add. In this case, I'm just going to go with the original service that we performed, so I'll go ahead and remove this additional fee. Get a confirmation there and say yes, and it removes it. So I'm happy with everything I see here for the invoice. I'm going to go ahead and say Save Invoice. Click there. Okay, and now if I look at Joey's ledger, I've got an invoice number, an invoice date, a service date. I've got some details about this actual invoice, how much was invoiced, how much we've received for this invoice thus far, which of course is nothing, we just created it, how much we've written off for this invoice, and what the balance is. I see who the staff is, and then I can also edit or print this invoice. So let me go ahead and hit print and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, and here is the invoice, a very simple invoice, some of the very same information printed in the header. I do have my provider listed here as well. That would be our practice name. And here are the invoice details down below. And from here, I'll be able to email it directly to Joey. I can print it, or I can download a PDF. But in this case, I'll just go ahead and